It's hard to shoot moving in the car because I don't have any suction mounts, so I'm improvising sort of. All right, this is take number 2. But in any case, we are gonna move on until the camera says otherwise. And yeah, so as the title suggests, I wanted to talk about sort of my ownership experience with the 996, with the beloved 996 4S Gen 2. Which I think is a crucial point in the 996 history. So I have a pretty good idea of what it's like to live with, own, and I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about reliability, I want to talk about value and future values, considering how much these are going for nowadays. All right, so let me first let me just park up here, and then we can talk about a few things. So I want to talk about sort of expenses, things I've spent on the car ever since owning it, how my experience has been with it, where I've been, what I've done with the car. It's a long period of time to own a car. I got this car 15 years ago, and it was new, and I've loved it. It's been parked for quite a number of years. Living in London isn't very easy to drive a car, especially like this. It's not a sort of an easy car to daily as much as I'd love to. The roads here are atrocious, as many of you might already know. I haven't gotten much of a chance to take it outside and stretch its legs as much as I'd like to. Life gets in the way, so it's been parked for quite a number of years. I'm lucky enough to park it in a garage on the ground, so that's sort of helped really a lot with the maintenance of the car and keeping it in as good a condition as possible. The car's done 21,500 miles, so very sort of little usage. I used it quite a lot initially when I first got it in the first few years. I used to do a lot of road trips with it. I used to go to the south of France, to different locations. I used to to put 2,000-3,000 miles on it at any given time on one of those road trips, and the car's been fantastic. The car is still great, to be honest with you. It's a great running car, and I've recently just taken it in for a service and just a check over to Porsche Carrera, and they've been fantastic. Actually, it's my first time using them, and I love my experience there. They're very knowledgeable. It's a small garage, but which works even better for me. Yeah, so Chris, I think his name is, gave the car a once over, just checked what it needed, what was wrong with it. I had a few things that I wanted to fix. One being the air condensers. They, for some reason, just gave out. Apparently it's a common thing with 911s, so we replaced those two, put new ones in. I got a quote initially from a London garage for £1,000 to do the condensers. He quoted me and done them for me for about £350, so considerably cheaper, and did just as good a job, if not better. I did replace the radiators last year. They also needed changing. And other than that, I just changed some oil, and that was it. There really wasn't anything else that needed changing as far as he was concerned. The car was in very good conditions. We checked the top mounts, we checked sort of the control arms and bushings of the car just to make sure the suspension was working fine, and he said everything was great. We checked the housing belts, and there was a little sort of a bit of a leak when the car was sitting, so I thought maybe there was something with the rear main seal. As I was reading a lot on the forum, people said it might have been an issue. He said it was probably just because it was parked and the oil condenses in one place, and true enough, I drove it, put some heat into it, and everything sort of was running just fine. He made sure everything was tied in properly. Came back. It was a good thing actually, because from where I live to the garage is about 40 miles to the Porsche Carrera garage, so it was a good excuse to open up the car. That's also one of the reasons why I booked it there. And yeah, it behaved incredibly well. touch wood. And the other thing I changed recently as well was the rear tires. I was also looking to change the front ones. The guy came over. I had Quick Fit come over with the tires to replace them, and the guy was nice enough and honest enough to check them and said, honestly, you don't need to change them. We had a good look around. He said there's no signs of cracking or anything like that. I purely wanted to change them. I know the thread was fine. I just wanted to change them initially for the age. They're a few years old and I haven't really put much use into them, but I just thought for my peace of mind. But again, he assured me that they're honestly in very good condition and with no signs of wear or tear or cracks. So I took his advice and kept the front ones, just changed the back ones. And yeah, so the car drives perfectly well. Yeah, so in terms of money, like that's really what I spent on it. You know, I spent about just doing the minor service and doing the air conditioning condensers. They cost me all in all about £600. So very good. The car has been sitting up until that point for about a year and a half. So was expecting to spend a little bit more just to bring it up to date, and so that was much better than expected. I managed to get some rear tires for a really good price. I'll put the links on the for the website that I use. I can't remember the name for them right now, but I managed to get Dunlop. Sorry, was it Dunlop? It might have been Dunlop tires. Yeah, and they were at a discount, so I was really happy with that because they're 295. Size of their rear tires are quite expensive, as you might already know, especially if you're going to go for the Michelins. I opted for different ones, and I love them. They're Japanese make, and they're great performance tires. Yeah, so other than that, not much else, to be honest with you. There's a few upgrades I want to do at some point in the near future. They're mainly cosmetic, one being the entertainment, which now Porsche offers as a retrofit, which I love. I know it's expensive and it'll probably take me a while to get one, but I am adamant. And the other thing is the sort of front lights. They do headlights now. There's a company that does headlights called J-Tech, and they do really cool LED sort of ring headlights. Same shape as the ones I already have, but with a sort of a black inside, which I think looks really cool and modern. Yeah. What else? I wrote a few things down so I don't forget what I want to discuss. So let's see here. Yes. So all right. So that's reliability out of the way. I want to talk about values and future values. Now, admittedly, I got the car obviously new. I spent quite a bit of money on it when I first got it. But that being said, right now they're as low as they're ever going to be, to be honest. So even if I was to put another 30,000 miles driving this car, I wouldn't lose really anything. If you look at sort of values of car being sold, cars being sold like the 4S, the 996 variation online, with when you look at 50,000, 60, 70,000 mile cars, they're selling about the mid to high 20s. This car being sort of done 21,000 miles, it'll obviously be in a be more valuable than that. So like I said, if I put another 20-30,000 miles, I'm not really bothered. That's what I plan to do. It's the car, like I said, it's gone as low as it's ever gonna go. It's only gonna appreciate from then on. So I'm comfortable driving the car. I want to do some road trips to Europe. I'm planning on some over the next few weeks, depending on how flexible the government is with the lockdown. But I would like to go on a Euro trip and put some good miles, because really that's what the car is for. I'm not a fan of driving in the city. It's very tedious. It's not very comfortable because of the way the roads are. So, it's made for high roads, high speed, and I'd love to do that. And I'm hoping to do that over the next couple of months. So that'd be great. And I'll take you guys with me and just explore the car. And just explore how fantastic it is. Another thing I wanted to touch up on was the IMS that everybody keeps going on about. They're mainly people really online who haven't owned the car, have no experience of the 996, but I'll tell you, it doesn't bother me. I haven't changed it. I'm not going to change it. You know, originally it was a very small percentage that these cars had potentially a failure with the IMS. Is about 2 to 3%. So in actual numbers, you know, it doesn't even count when you look at modern cars and the recalls, you know, and things catching on fire like Lamborghinis, Ferraris. So I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't go on about it too much. It's just unfortunate because sort of it plagued the 996 a little bit, and I've seen owners online trying to sell their cars, have done them, retrofitted the IMS to avoid sort of any hassle with potential buyers. But yeah, other than that, they're generally great cars to maintain, relatively reasonably priced in terms of cost ownership. You took care of them, they look after you, they're very well built to start with, and yeah, they're really good cars. From my experience, it's you know, it's been great ownership, and I'm looking forward to still having the car in my garage, and hopefully adding another potentially 996. I've been looking at Targas, but yeah, I love the shape and the overall aesthetic. I love it in the convertible form. It's great, especially on sunny days like this. There's not much else that comes close. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do like and subscribe. There's a lot more content coming through. Let me know if you want to watch anything specific with the 996. I have a few projects I have in mind, so I'll keep you in the loop. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Take care.